Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Ophiuchus, I have been away on vacation, actually more like a staycation for me, but I had my mom come to visit me for 7 days, and then right after that, my sister came to visit, and so I've just been spending time with family and then trying to readjust to, and getting back to, playing catch up in my real life. So anyway, that's where I've been, guys. I didn't ignore you guys on purpose. I just haven't been able to get videos out for zodiacs. Just a couple of sporadic videos here and there. So anyway, finally things are getting back to a rhythm now. So we have got the Empress. We're starting out with Libra Taurus energy, and this is, I don't know if this is the person who's thinking about Ophiuchus. They hold Ophiuchus in very high esteem. Nine of Wands, though. If they see Ophiuchus as an empress, then they put Ophiuchus on a pedestal and they feel pretty rough right now. Okay, they're kind of out in this desert, although it's a very colorful, very lush, and beautiful desert in many ways. We see that they're just like this rough outline. We can't even see the rest of their head here. So they see it as like Ophiuchus's life is so much more like filled in and organized and structured, and theirs is like more scattered. And I mean, this could be somebody who's in a state of flux in their life. They see Ophiuchus as incredibly stable. Empresses run an empire. A Nine of Wands is somebody who's kind of still on this healing journey. And they have a lantern here as well down here in the front. So I'm almost thinking that they are somebody. It's not quite the hermit energy, but like a twinge of that. Like maybe they've been in deep hermit mode and are just reemerging. Yeah. Okay. So Ace of Pentacles is sideways. Whomever this character is, they could certainly be a fire sign or an earth sign. They are just regaining their footing. They could have been ill. They could have been in, place of transition, like moving from, one state, one environment to another. They could be changing a career. They could have lost a job, have to reinvent themselves, find a new career. This is very much about money. Both of these cards speak of money. This person might have had, like depleted savings while they've been going through, like let's say it's illness, and can no longer work in a certain industry and then have to change jobs, careers, living on savings in the meantime. This just feels like a lot that they've had heavy on their shoulders, but they are getting ever closer to having like a new beginning. Like the sun will rise again in their life. They will have success again. They will have money coming in again. They will have, their life will be back in order again. It's not at the moment, right? Ace of Wands. I gotta say, if they have a burning flame for this Empress, for our Ophiuchus character, then that's actually a really, like, I don't know, that Ophiuchus could be their reason to get up out of bed in the morning and keep fighting the good fight and keep, saying, okay, I am going to heal from this. Yeah, I could have a new beginning. I mean, I had some stumbles. I had some stuff that went wrong in life. Heck, maybe they got themselves into trouble because maybe they owed a lot of money. They had to pay back, a debt to society or something. And now they're working their way out of that and finally starting to, keep their own money in their own pocket again and rebuild some stuff in their life. But great people make mistakes all the time and wind up getting into some trouble and then have to, course correct some things in their life. We have an Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, and Ace of Cups, and Ace of Coins. All of those, aces are personal. So this person has been very much focused on what they've needed to do. They've been very much focused on how much they do care about Ophiuchus, though, as well. Ophiuchus has their heart. Ophiuchus has their mind. And here it's kind of like they're very excited. The concept of putting their life in order, it doesn't daunt them. It doesn't make them feel like, wow, I put Ophiuchus on a pedestal and I'll never be able to be like Ophiuchus. No. They're like, that's destination Ophiuchus for me. It gives me inspiration. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, God, that's somebody that I really want to course correct my life, because I want to be able to pursue things with Ophiuchus. If Ophiuchus sees this person they may have noticed a change in their behavior. Like when Ophiuchus bumps into them, they may notice that if they were, kind of aloof and like more turned inward at one point, when Ophiuchus sees them now, they may like have eyes that light up. They may be less inclined to just be in a world of their own and much more like interactive when Ophiuchus sees them. I don't know that they're hiding or even trying to hide how much they love to see Ophiuchus, or how Ophiuchus is giving them inspiration. We have a 6 of Wands. I think Ophiuchus has noticed a big change in them, big improvement, and big improvement in what they're doing. I feel like this person is gaining personal pride again. They're feeling better about themselves. Who is Ophiuchus to them? Is this somebody that we have the Star and we have the 6 of Swords in the reverse? I'm almost inclined to say this feels like somebody like Ophiuchus has stood by them, has at least been a friend to them, if not a lover, but it's somebody that they've never moved on from. I mean, with that 6 of Swords in the reverse, it's not like, oh, I moved on, forgot all about you. With the Star card, though, it can be that it's somebody from a distance, like Ophiuchus and this person may not like live in the same town, even may not live in the same house, maybe never did, but let's say they never quite lost touch with each other. This could be, oh, we've always been old friends. They're an old boyfriend, girlfriend of mine. I never lost touch with them. Actually, I've always still loved them. They've loved me, but we haven't even lived in the same city in, 3 years. But, we talk. We stay in contact with each other. Well, all I can say is that has Ophiuchus known that this character has gone through a really rough time? My impression is most likely yes. Page of Pentacles, yeah, because they've talked about something. If this is not a shocker, Ophiuchus has known that this character has gone through some difficulties. There's been maybe not the full extent of things, but I'm wondering if Ophiuchus very innocently gave them some kind of just like acceptance, like, oh well, we all make mistakes sometimes. Things that go upside down, they get righted. You can still fix it. Ophiuchus might have just very simply, very innocently, like basically given them permission to start their life over with a clean slate. I'm really drawn to this white dress, and I just feel like if Ophiuchus gave this person some kind of gentle, reassurance, or they saw it from a different viewpoint, and they're just like, well, I mean, life is hard right now, but you know that it doesn't stay that way, right? Nothing stays the same, not the good times and not the bad times. So rest assured, you'll definitely, have things turn around for you. You will turn them around. As surely as, our physical bodies don't stay the same. We age, we change, we morph. The planet that we're on is turning. Like nothing stays the same, not the good and not the bad. Thank goodness for that, right? It just feels like Ophiuchus has a really awesome way to just make them feel like, so you made some mistakes, or so things got really difficult. It'll get better though. And I just feel like that was so momentous for them. Even if this was said very simply, very softly, I don't know that they had looked at their circumstances from a different lens, but Ophiuchus looks at the world through a different lens. Everything is like, one thing leads to another, and life changes. And that's the one thing we can be sure of, is it'll keep changing. It's so perfect though. If they talked to Ophiuchus, at just the right time. This was about divine timing. And you notice how one conversation changed like 24 other things in their life. I really think that this person was like in a little bit of like despair, or like a little bit of a hopeless place. And Ophiuchus was this like ray of light. It gave them the feeling that, wait a second. So it's not the end of the world, even if I've had some problems, even if, whatever, I've lost a career path, even if I have to reinvent myself. You mean Ophiuchus thinks that a clean slate is a good thing, and that just means I get to do something different, and maybe I have more freedom to choose something different in my life instead of looking at it as a loss. Look at it as like a freedom to pick something new for myself. Okay, that's actually amazing. I didn't see it that way. And I just feel like they have so much, possibly like so much love for Ophiuchus, because Ophiuchus said just the thing that they most needed to hear to dust off. The thing that they most needed somebody to tell them and give them that sense of not just confidence, but like a new perspective to have. And again, Ophiuchus is an empress in their eyes. Ophiuchus is somebody who they can make anything blossom. They can make anything and everything grow. They think Ophiuchus is so generous with their words, is so nurturing. They may also think that Ophiuchus has some kind of like magical fairy dust or something, that everything they touch seems to flourish, because I think they themselves are flourishing and they know it just from having had a conversation with Ophiuchus. Look, I hope Ophiuchus knows what an amazing gift they have to like make other people feel like things are going to be all right, and to give people like really sound advice, and just make it be like, well, when we're growing, when we're about to change, lots of times things get uncomfortable and things end in our life when we're supposed to grow the same way, we grow out of our shoes when we're kids, and all of a sudden our shoes hurt because we've outgrown them. We need a new pair of shoes. Maybe something didn't end. It maybe instead you grew out of it. It's not like you lost anything, it's that you've grown beyond it. And I just think that kind of concept, the fact that it's all about growth and it's all about where we go next, and that it's like this natural occurrence in life instead of the feeling of loss and despair. I think that kind of perspective is so helpful. If that's what Ophiuchus has the ability to do, is to give people that kind of like simple perspective, but also very truthful. I mean, I personally do believe in that. I think everything in this is something I can totally get behind, because I think that is, the way life works sometimes. We get really uncomfortable. We feel, more stressed out. And then it's like, oh, it's because I'm going through a change. I've actually outgrown where I thought my comfort zone was, but it's not comfortable anymore because I've grown out of this. I've grown beyond this, and I'm supposed to grow into the next thing. And that next thing, it can feel scary because for a minute, we don't know what the next thing is yet. We only know that the thing we had doesn't fit us anymore. And it's that feeling of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then it's like, oh, wait a second. I can't stay where I was. I outgrew that. So of course I'm going to find the next thing, because I'm a new version of me. I get to meet a new version of me, and the new me gets a new life. So I don't know. It just feels very positive. But this person I would say, has fallen in great admiration, if not full-blown love, with Ophiuchus. And it is all because of the way Ophiuchus has given them hope and has given them like the sense of like normalcy about the changes that they're going through. So very nice energy there. Well done, Ophiuchus. I always think the Ophiuchus videos have some of the most like uplifting and gentle messages. All right, you guys, thank you again for being here. I'm going to try after I get back. So I'll be gone for several hours. It's apple harvesting evening, and time to make apple cider. So I'll be gone for a bit doing that. And depending on when I get home tonight, I will try to see you guys again this evening, not necessarily for an Ophiuchus video, but just in general. So take care. Thanks guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up.